Hit the damn button. I can't spell your username.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast where you don't talk about anime anymore. I've noticed this has become a recurring trend. I totally apologize. What were you saying, Spear?
I figured it out. I couldn't get in. I couldn't find your channel because I wasn't logged in.
Oh.
I cleared all my cache today. It's usually really easy to find your channel. I just go to the bottom of my list because you're the only lowest viewers. It's usually really easy to find your channel.
Thank you. Thank you for
I just looked for the one with one viewer. Even Eliza Bar has 2 right.
Thank you for that. Thank you for just demoralizing me. No count on you for that. But welcome back to the podcast where we don't talk about anime anymore. We'll be fixing that early as October is my prediction. But we were in the background and I just thought the title of this podcast is Old versus New Video Games, but I think I'm gonna keep it there just as because I've already named the podcast. But we're gonna talk about Jock was on a rant. Well, not a rant. Let me rephrase that. He was on explaining to me how expectations for a Zelda movie or like Legend of Zelda movie are like off the charts, and like they could easily ruin it by Link speaking. But I feel like I've heard here's my whole take on just expectations of the Legend of Zelda in general. Yes, Legend of Zelda is popular, but I don't know if it would bring in the same fanfare as like the Mario movie did, because you know this, because Mario is a household name. Legend of Zelda, they're trying to, but it's not like a household name. I mean, Legend of Zelda games don't come out every year like Mario does, or like.
But when they do.
Well, yeah, when they do, they break people's like minds. But it's like, I'm not gonna sit there and say that they can't ruin Legend of Zelda. I think it's like, I feel like there's a lot more to work with than a plumber, a princess who, for no real reason, they decide to drop into the Mario movie that Princess Peach just showed up in the Mushroom Kingdom. Doesn't even know where she's from. They need to really, really rein that in, especially if they bring in Daisy, which, by the way, Miyamoto, I swear to God, you better bring Daisy into Mario 2.
Daisy, your girl?
Yeah, she's my favorite princess. Because over the years, Daisy's become my favorite princess. I also like the characterization that Daisy's got over the years. At first, when they brought Daisy in, she was a tomboyish princess, but they're really laid into the tomboyish thing as the years that went on. She is way more energetic than Princess Peach. I think they do that on purpose to show that like Princess Peach is a little more refined than Daisy is, even though Daisy is also a princess. So I like that there's a difference between Daisy and Princess Peach, kind of like how there's a difference between Rosalina and Princess Peach. Rosalina over there has been shown to like, well, she hasn't really been around long enough, but like she's been around long enough to show you that she's definitely different than Princess Peach, even though there's rumors going around that Rosalina might be her mother. I'm very confused of where that came from.
I always thought Peach might be Rosalina's mother.
I don't think so, because Rosalina, I think she's older than Princess Peach by a couple of millennia. I don't think like Rosalina registers on the normal human scale of age. I mean, you can probably make the argument for any character in any fiction, but still, like when it comes down to it, like I think like Rosalina's much older. And they got Pauline, who they've brought back into the fold. I'm telling you, like the amount of like Nintendo girls that they decided to bring attention to it's shocking over the years. Pauline kind of came out of nowhere for me. I'm like, I forgot about her from the freaking original Mario game, where Donkey Kong was the villain. But back onto Legend of Zelda really quick. I went on a tangent. Yeah, their expectation, but I don't think it really ruin it. And like Link talking, as much as a problem you would think people would have, I've heard and I've heard this constantly from people talking about it. The whole argument that should Link talk or should Link not talk? I've heard both sides of the fence on this one. A lot of people think he shouldn't because that's just what Link's shtick is. Like the point you made earlier, that Link has been a silent protagonist his entire life. It's a part of who he is. But a lot of people said like he should talk. If not only, that would be a shock to a lot of us to know why he doesn't speak. And people, I like that argument a lot more than him just being silent because he's just silent. I like to know if like maybe Link's voice is just too dang high pitched that he doesn't feel comfortable talking. Like, wouldn't that be funny? Like Link just comes, like when Link shows up on the screen, he's just like, "Hi, I'm Link," and that's all he says, and that's like the rest of the movie he's just silent. I think that would be funny because it's like it shows you that they're self-aware that Link doesn't speak. Well, now will he speak? I don't know. I had to see that first trailer to see what direction they're gonna go with this character, because like they need to characterize Link first of all before I think any words flow through his mouth. Because like Link is just a vessel for us to, you know, fill in the games. But like if they're gonna make Link the main character, we need to have like an actual characterization. So it'd be kind of cool to see what direction to go with him, because like in the various games, it depends on which Link you're dealing with, because he's been reincarnated 1,000 times at this point.
Yeah.
That like it depends like what like are we gonna get the Link that is a master swordsman? Are we gonna get the Link that has swordsman in his family? Because there are some Links that actually come from a long line of knights. We're gonna get the lazy Link from Wind Waker. I think it's funny. Like there's a bunch of Links. Like at least with Zelda, there are varying versions of Zelda, but for the most part, she stays the same. Like there's a couple of Zeldas that they could use if they really wanted to really spice it up, what they did with Princess Peach. Like you got the Zelda that that's capable of defending herself, the Zelda that's a tomboy, the Zelda that's got an attitude. There's a few of them out there that a lot of people have really latched onto. So it's like, you know, there are varying personalities of Zelda that they could use, but there's not too many. In fact, they probably don't even really necessarily need the personalized Zelda in the first movie. Maybe that she's just the person you're trying to save, basically in the movie. And after that, they can do what they want with her, basically with her character if they really want to. It's a simple Legend of Zelda 2, and then we can have like, you know, like because like there's a lot of the games, Zelda is not the reason you're there. She just kind of happens to be there in some instances. Like she isn't damsel in distress or anything like that. And on top of that, Zelda's got a thing that Princess Peach didn't have when she was first introduced. Zelda's actually got powers. So like Zelda could do some stuff because she's actually got abilities. But who knows? And then Ganondorf is the other character. But like, again, Ganondorf is pretty one note. I think maybe the most interesting Ganon might either be from Ocarina of Time or the Ganon that they gave us in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Like those two particular Ganons are interesting. And no, I take that back. In the Ganon from Wind Waker, those are probably the three more interesting Ganons, because the Ganon from Wind Waker, he's a survivor of a lost world, and he realized the damage he had done and lamented everything that he did, but still didn't really care enough to try to fix any of it. He just went on with his life. He kind of just went being alone because he was the only thing existing from the world that he had destroyed. The Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time, if I remember correctly, he was just a random dude that walked off the Gerudo Desert, walked up to Zelda, and then took over the world from there. Kind of the same thing with the Ganon from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. He had more sinister means for the world that he wanted to take over, so there's that. basically all.
Ganon had different motivations about behind taking over the world. I thought he was just wanted to straight up take over the world, and that was pretty much the story.
As far as I could tell, the game.
I didn't know he had like a plan on what to do after he took over the world. I thought take over the world was as far as the plan got.
No, what basically what I'm saying is that at least from what I can tell from the way that they characterize Ganon and Breath of the Wild, it seemed like from the get-go, he actually had a plan for taking over the world. I don't know if the other Ganons did. The only other Ganon that kind of had any real character was the one from Wind Waker, because like he literally lamented what he did to the world. It was interesting.
Ganon lamented what he did to the world?
Yeah, he did, but it wasn't lamenting of like he wished he hadn't done it. He just realized the damage he had done, and he was alone. He was on an island by himself, basically. Nobody else from that world that he destroyed existed anymore. So basically, he lamented that he destroyed the world and didn't leave anybody there to keep him company. Basically, he was basically alone and went insane. Well, the interesting take on Ganon at that point. But again, people don't like Wind Waker because it looks like a child's cartoon, which I still don't understand. People have explained it to me, but I still don't understand it. But yeah, there's that Ganon. But I guess the other interesting thing about Legend of Zelda is that we don't actually have to rely on Ganondorf as a villain. There are other villains that people like in the Legend of Zelda universe that they could actually use. Even when you talked earlier about you like 2D games a little bit more than most 3D shooters, like they could take like, what's the name of that villain that like was like you fought him first in Link to the Past, and it was like he was supposed to be the big bad, but then Ganondorf was the real big bad. I forgot his name. I think it was Aga, whatever. I forgot his name. But like you could take him as a villain in the movie, and that'd be interesting. You could take the villain from Minish Cap. I forgot his name, but a lot of people like him, and Nintendo doesn't ever seem to bring him back. I don't know what happened. I never played Minish Cap, so I never got a chance to really like or understand that villain there. There's a villain in Link Between Worlds. I think his name is Yuga. Like that villain was really cool in my opinion. They could even bring Dark no, what? No, I say Dark Zelda. They call her Hilda. What is a Zelda in the Dark World in that game? There's a lot of villains, and then on top of that, like I said before, like the other thing that they could do is reboot the entire freaking Legend of Zelda world with that movie and make games from there. There's a possibility, like there's possibilities there that Aonuma could take, or whoever takes Aonuma's spot in the next 5 years. I forgot how old Aonuma is right now. I'm not entirely sure he'll be. It depends. It depends where.
Still there? Did you fizzle out?
No, I'm still here. I'm just like, I got this really weird email from a company called D-Brand, and
Dude, you have an attention span of like.
No, I just happened to look down, and but listen, like I looked down, I was gonna ignore it at first, but then it said that the title, like the tagline was, "We're coming for you," and that caught my attention. It was like, what did I do? But like, apparently D-Brand is able to follow when you put something into a freaking shopping cart. That's even more disturbing. But I was on a tangent there, lost it. It was something about Legend of Zelda villains. Oh yeah, it just there's like they could really like reboot the Legend of Zelda world, though. I honestly, again, it's like when they said that they're doing a live action movie, that kind of caught me off guard because I was like, huh, they're doing Legend of Zelda live action movie. Why not animated? But like, I guess with that whole process, like they would have to like give Link a voice, wouldn't they? Because like, but no, they could have Link emote. Again, it's like with the whole idea of like Link speaking, a part of me really just wants them to give a reason why Link would be silent. And I think a lot of people would accept that. Like, would you accept that? Like, maybe there's just a reason why he doesn't speak.
Um, I would accept it if he just didn't speak, and it was never really clear why he didn't.
Is there a reason why you don't want him to speak? I guess it's like honestly asking, because I know there are a lot of people who have reasonings for why they want Link to remain silent, and I understand them, but like I feel like there's gotta be more to that than
people have connected so deeply with Zelda as a mute character.
That's not Zelda. That's Link.
I'm sorry, Link as a mute character. That I think people may have become like a little bit emotionally attached to it.
Oh wait a minute. Link isn't silent. Link actually makes noises.
I said mute, not silent.
But I still think they're kind of sick. Like, I mean, he has a voice. It's not like he's like, because mute means you can't talk. But I feel like that also means you can't make noises.
I don't know.
Refraining from speech or temporary speechless.
Yes, a person who's mute can still make sounds, even though they may not be able to produce speech. Muteness or mutism generally refers to the inability to speak, not the complete absence of all production. People who are mute can still cough, sneeze, laugh, and make other non-speech vocalizations. And it goes on. Basically, just.
Okay, I'm gonna argue against your point from a different point of view. Okay. While I understand, you know, Link has been a mute character his entire life from this point, and like Link hasn't spoken a darn word one time. But here's the thing: there's a reason why Link really isn't a character that speaks, is because Link himself is supposed to be, and this is like Aonuma said, why he's even named Link in the first place. He's just a link between you and the game itself. I don't know if that same, you know, rationalization could exist for Link as a movie character, because like I can't exactly like link myself with him in the movie, in a movie sense. I mean, there's an extent to where I could, like, you know, have any emotional feeling. Now granted, I will say before somebody says this, I know they're going to say it, like, you know, you can still have feelings for characters in movies. I understand that. But I feel like there's a difference between Link as a character in the game, because you're playing as him, versus like Link in the movie sense. Because Link in that situation would be a character on his own. At least in the video game, Link is nothing more than just a physical manifestation for you to attack things with in the game. Granted, over the years, Link has actually gotten more character, but he still lacked a voice. And like, while for me, I'm not arguing that he should stay mute, but I'm also not arguing that he shouldn't be mute. I feel like there's got to be something that I feel like in a movie situation, I feel like they need to explain, either like he was born that way or something. They need to explain in a movie, because here's the thing. You played a couple of Legend of Zelda games in the past, right? Like, when you go see the movie, you understand a few things about the, you know, in-game universe like that. But somebody off the street who's like, you probably see the title, like, oh, that looks interesting, I want to watch that.
Okay, so here's the trap there. What if you are not deeply entrenched in Zelda lore, but you have played one or two of the games, and lore from all the other games comes in, or the movie is based on the lore of a different game, and now you're just completely fucking lost, but you thought you knew what Zelda was?
I don't know how you... I'm struggling with this question. It's like, I don't know how you would... At some point, you would have had to heard about the whole multiple link situation and the timeline split and all that stuff. That's not like lore that's too deep in the Zelda universe. And with that being said, I don't know. Link never spoke in any of the games at all. So like, even if Link did utter a word, only because he's a high-pitched speech talker, because they make fun of that and like in some videos on YouTube about Link, this way he doesn't speak. That's just the reasoning. I just feel like they need to give Link. They need to get like they should give. I'm gonna rephrase the word need. They should give a reason because even that person you just spoke about, the guy or girl who walked into the movie who probably had some knowledge, they at least know what the heck is going on and like why he doesn't speak or anything going on in that universe, because they already have the recollection. Okay, there's just monsters around here and Link's just around here to kick butt. That's all that's all the the notion they need. Like they don't care about any of the extra stuff. But somebody who like the movie snob that walks in, because there's gonna be a few. You can't prevent them from getting into a movie like this. Like they're probably in there just trying to see if they can't say anything bad about the movie. And like the first thing they're gonna attack when they get in there, that the main character is mute. Granted, I think there's an argument to be made that Link can still be mute because like I think what's the name of that movie that that had no talking in it? I forgot the name of the movie. Like the monsters responded to sound, so they didn't talk or make too much noise in that universe. There's only certain.
I'm sorry. What universe?
There's a movie. There's like a movie series that was completely devoid of sound or any talking. I forgot the name of the series because like the world had become under attack by monsters that were capable of like getting to you by sound, and then in order to survive, humans just stopped talking. The entire movie was silent. I forgot the name of it, man, but like it was a movie like that. So like I mean, I guess a movie where somebody doesn't.
A silent movie. Silent film, isn't that what it is? What am I missing?
Like there's a movie where there's these monsters that just kind of came out of nowhere from Earth and like just like there was like a lot of sound, but like the characters didn't speak. And I thought at first that wouldn't work, but I saw one movie of that series and I was like, oh, that actually does work. I'm just saying like there can be an argument to be made that Link stays silent, but like as far as like the person that only played maybe 2 games and walked into this other movie, like I don't know what they would be confused with. Can you give me an example or a few things that you think that they would be confused with? Because I'm kind of like missing the forest for the trees of your question.
You're missing the forest for the trees. How?
You make mention of like just like somebody who probably played 2 games, but they walk into the Zelda movie and they just be lost when they introduce all kinds of lore or whatever they introduce into the movie. I mean, you made an argument that was saying that the movie could just confuse somebody who doesn't play a lot of Zelda games.
I think it would. I think the lore is too rich and multifaceted, and like I said, there's not just one Link and there's not just one Zelda, and I don't think that's common knowledge at all. It's kind of like you have to sort of be pretty deep into the Zelda to understand that there's multiple.
I don't understand because the Zelda timeline is all over the internet. Like I mean, this isn't a thing that's hidden.
That's right, and there's parallel like fucking timelines in the Zelda universe.
But it's only 3. I mean, I know you were trying to say that's not the point, but honestly, it's only 3. It's not like other freaking things like the Marvel universe, the DC universe, where there's like all kinds of freaking things leading to other places and parallel worlds and stuff like that. It's only 3, and it's like as confusing as it is, all it really does, it just starts from Ocarina of Time and it's listened to 3, which I still kind of find silly, but I've just accepted it after all this time. Like there's a world where Link defeated Ganon, there's a world where he didn't defeat Ganon, and there's a world where he just disappeared. And I still don't completely understand a little bit too much of how the timeline where he disappeared, because apparently that's the timeline that Ocarina had started, and then Link had went to the future to defeat Ganon, and that's the timeline where he won. But then there's also a timeline where he didn't defeat Ganon as well. Like somehow the timeline when Link went in time, when that Link went in the future, he messed up a lot of stuff. And funnily enough, that Link goes into Majora's Mask and then dies. Well, at least that's my assumption, because we don't know where that Link went after Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
As far as I know, he did. Because like I mean, there's nothing was spoken. No, but then they do have that Link. I'm guessing that Link shows back up in Twilight Princess, because Twilight Princess that Link is learning sword techniques from a Link that, at least that's the assumption being made, is that the little Stalfos that he was learning from was a Link that was turned into a Skeleton Knight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Twilight Princess, like it's made really clear that that thing you're learning from is obviously a Link. Like it makes a lot of references that only a Link would know about. So it's like that Link, and then apparently Skull Kid shows up in Twilight Princess too. I didn't know about that. Like I told you, I played Twilight Princess one time, almost all the way through, and I stopped right before I defeated Ganon in that playthrough. Never went back. I think back on that playthrough a couple times a year, and I'm like, I really should have finished that game. Like I really should have. Like I'm hoping Twilight Princess HD comes to Switch too, and I can go pick that game up and actually play it through. I would really appreciate that, Aonuma Miyamoto-san. You know, take my $80 because you're already taking it before. I shouldn't try to put that in the world because I know they will do it eventually. But
I said that's funny.
It's funny but true, which also makes it sad. But yeah, like I mean, I don't know if honestly the entire world, like, because what they could also do, and this is probably more realistically what they are gonna do, considering this is a live action movie, they're probably just gonna remake the original Legend of Zelda game, the very first one, into like a live action movie. But the problem is I don't know anything about that particular Legend of Zelda game. I've seen those games, but I completely don't understand how you progress in those games all that well. So like to me, it's like they'd probably start from there, and then either like this would either be a reboot. This is other too. I don't know. Maybe they're only making live action because they don't know how well this movie will do. So in order to not waste too much budget doing an animated movie like they're doing with Mario, like maybe they're just hoping that, okay, this thing bombs, at least there's like one movie out there for Legend of Zelda.
See, that's another thing. What if they just make Zelda for little kids? Like, who is the target audience of the Zelda movie? Are they going to market?
What's the target audience of most Nintendo games? Children. Mario
Not
movie
Zelda so much though. I think Zelda's got a more mature group that are into it.
I'm not saying that there aren't adults who are into this type of stuff, but at the same time, it's like there's my thing. Like Nintendo games are notorious for not really aging up with the audience. Like you can make an argument that Zelda's done that a couple of times, because I mean Twilight Princess was pretty mature. Majora's Mask was just out of the world. That was out of left field.
Right, I think Zelda is adults a lot more. Like when I heard the Mario movie come out and I watched the preview, I'm like, all right, I should probably bring Grace into this. I don't see a world where I bring Grace into the Zelda movie.
Really? I feel like little kids can get really into it. I mean, the chivalrous.
They could get into it if it's made for kids, but is that really where we're going now?
I feel like the Legend of Zelda series was made with kids in mind. Weren't you a kid when the first Zelda game came out?
Was I a kid when the first Zelda game came out? Yes, but I didn't get into Zelda until I was much older.
I don't know, because like I mean, while I see what you're talking about, I'm not arguing against it. Well, I'm just saying, well, my argument is like Nintendo games specifically are made for children. Specifically, that is literally the umbrella they're put under. Zelda, no matter how awesome it is and how mature, quote unquote mature, some of the stuff it can get, Zelda in particular doesn't escape the children umbrella. It never has. I mean, people probably don't ever mention it when they mention children under the same breath, but it's not like people aren't thinking it. Nintendo made it, so it's like, of course, like they're going to think children's game company. I still see the argument everywhere that, you know, people are saying like Nintendo needs to make better games. I'm like, have you not seen what they've been doing? These are good games. What is your problem? Like, I would honestly go on a rant for people who like talk bad about Nintendo video games in general. Because I feel like this is just a hot take and for me in general. Like, I don't care. Hello there.
So, I'm sorry, what is your question?
Hello there, Trolla Barton, dude. No, I didn't have a, well, hold on, do I have a question? I didn't have a question, I just, my argument was just that Nintendo in general, anything they've touched in general, just it's like, it's a kid's game, no matter what. No matter how, like, quote unquote mature something that they've made is, it's still gonna get chucked underneath the umbrella of that it's just a kid's video game company. So, like, to me, it's like, I feel like there's an argument here that can be said that little kids could be interested in a Legend of Zelda movie. Like, I feel like there's a chance. Now, how successful
They could, but it would have to be a movie that was not made. And I think Legend of Zelda and the fantasy genre in general does better with adults. Like Lord of the Rings did better with adults. Game of Thrones, like movies like that, like have even the D&D movie, like movies like that have done more successful work with adults than they have with kids. The last time like kid-centered fantasy movies have been out there has been like, I don't know, like He-Man. Like, it's been a very long time since I've seen a successful kid-focused fantasy.
Yeah, we like anime here too. New DLC for games. I haven't really been paying attention to a lot of that. I heard what you said, Spear. I was just trying to make sure that Troy here knows where we see him or her.
Yeah.
But basically what you're saying. Now, while that is true, but I feel like a lot of those things that you just mentioned were targeting for adults and, you know, teenagers. Like, that was their target audience that company was targeting. Nintendo doesn't target like teenagers. Well, I'll take that back. Nintendo doesn't target adults all that much, if they target them at all. I think what it is a lot of those kids that were playing games for a long time ago just grew up with Nintendo and they kept playing games. I'm an example of that. So I'm just saying that, like, it just seems like to me, wow, it's like the fear the movie will bomb because it's not gonna bring in the kids, or it's gonna like only bring in adults. It's just, I don't know. Like, I understand the fear of a failed movie is still there. Freaking Mario 2 could bomb when it releases next year. I have no idea. Again, like, the only thing we know about Mario 2 right now is that Yoshi's gonna be in it. I mean, that's a guarantee because of the way they ended the first movie. And that movie did well. I felt the movie only did well because it's a me. Mario's in it, basically.
Yeah.
Like, Mario.
Which movie? The most recent Mario movie?
Yeah, the most recent Mario movie. I feel like the only, because it's just the Mario universe in general, and Mario is a household name. Like,
yeah,
for me, I'm just like, I just love the idea of them trying to do other, because like, this is my issue. I said this before. I trust that movie, Legend of Zelda, to do better than a Pokemon movie. And I have more faith in a Zelda movie than a Pokemon movie. And this is from somebody who loves the Pokemon series. Who freaking loves that series. And it has hurt me the varying years. I don't need a Pokemon movie coming out and that thing bombing. Because I would, well, no, I'm not gonna say what I'm about to say there. That's very visceral. But I'm just saying that, like, I think a Zelda movie would do better than a Pokemon movie. And like, the only reason I say this is because Pokemon movies, animated movies, do well, but like, I don't know what's been going on with the TV side of the Pokemon show. I've been watching the newer anime that they released, but I haven't went back to finishing it yet. I like the characters that they're running with, but it's, to me, it's like, I feel like them trying to do a Pokemon movie in theaters on the same level as Mario or Zelda would not do well for a few reasons. Considering that Game Freak is the one that would probably have to be the ones that like uh work with the game companies. I mean, the movie company in general to like make the stuff because they have to give them some reference material for 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 said movie. But like for me, I think Zelda just do better because like there's like less. I think when it comes to, you said there's so much lore that they could mess it up. I think that's where the Pokemon series falls into. Do you not know
Yeah, but the Pokemon
how
series is
how
easier to
many?
like mix and match a little bit.
But no, have you seen? I'm just saying, have you seen the Pokedex entries, the like town lore? The games themselves do not even use half of the information in those games that they give us when we're reading up on some characters. For one, like there are a lot of things. There's some Pokemon that do some really messed up stuff, and for me, it's like knowing how them
What do they
how
do that's so messed up?
some of them kidnap children, some of them eat children, according to the Pokedex entries. None of them do it in the freaking anime, which is funny, by the way. I mean, like, perfect example of something that's really messed up. Litwick, one of those like candle Pokemon, when they evolve into their final form, Chandelure, they literally carry children to the afterlife. They don't ask, they just do it. That is in their Pokemon description. Drowsy from the first generation, that Pokemon puts you to sleep and kills you.
Okay.
Gengar, getting like there's just so much going on there that I don't know what they would pick from when if they were to attempt to move, but there's too much in there. They could screw it up. I can guarantee you right now, there's too much going on in the Pokemon universe. They would screw that up with whatever style of
But
movie
the
they were to attempt.
Pokemon universe, now correct me if because I'm not as familiar with it, but isn't it much more mix and match?
What do you mean?
Isn't the Pokemon universe like you could just pick? Obviously, you need Pikachu. You probably need Team Red or the enemy rival team is. But other than that, like in their main Pikachu, which is that guy with the spiky head, but like, can't you just sort of like take whatever Pikachu you feel like featuring in the movie, do some cameos of some of the rarer Pikachu's, and like build a story around it? Do you like? Is the lore restrictive in the way that Zelda might be, or is it like? Or am I
I
wrong?
mean, I wasn't even. I mean, I just talked about the freaking Pokedex entries. I mean, the legendary Pokemon, for instance, those giant monsters that exist just out there in a random. There's a freaking dragon in the ozone layer. There is lore around it, and specifically, there's a lore on how the world was made. There's lore everywhere in that. There's lore in the Pokedex entries. There's lore in the regions. Like, I mean,
But is there lore that like might interfere with stuff? Or, like you don't need to have how the universe is made.
they could probably run with a region, but I don't like. I still feel like knowing Hollywood, they're going to screw something up. They're gonna do what they did to Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah.
They're gonna do what they did to Dragon Ball Evolution. That I guarantee you. That I guarantee. Like that I
What are
can.
they going to do?
I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're gonna do it. They're gonna rape it.
How can you be so sure?
Because I know Hollywood. They've ruined everything. Sorry, I don't know why I just started.
That's okay.
Like this is. Okay, the same thing you said about Legend of Zelda, but I feel like just there's a lot of potential. I don't think it really. You're thinking that I don't know what you're thinking that they're going to do to Legend of Zelda in general, or you think that this is too much going on in Legend of Zelda in general that there's just no way they can control it. I think that they could. I think because there's a lot more humans in that, well, Hylians in general, and there's just like it's a bunch of monsters, like humans fighting monsters. I feel like they could really run with that, and if they don't want to run with any of the lore, I don't think that's a problem because Legend of Zelda is just reincarnated Links and Zeldas. You can easily rub that movie away with the idea that there's just a different Link and Zelda that was made at some point in the timeline that we don't know about. I feel like there's an easy explanation for if it's a bad movie. People can just write it off because I mean people wrote off the first Mario movie. I mean, no one really talks about that.
I mean, yeah, Mario was forgiven for it. The fan base was a little bit betrayed, but back then people weren't taking video games anymore so seriously.
Like I really don't know what you're afraid of in particular with the Legend of Zelda series. Like that's what I'm like mostly.
But I already told you like 6 different ways about that.
I don't know what they could ruin. I really, I mean, you said there's too much going on that there's something something's gonna screw up. I mean, you brought up like Link talking. I mean, that's not such a big deal if they don't have him talking. I mean, I think people are gonna complain for sure if like either way with Link, because like Link's gonna be the main character. Well, I guess maybe not. Maybe they don't necessarily need to have Link as the main character. Because I feel like if they don't, I feel like because like if they're focusing on Link for the most part of like the series, they're gonna have to have a lot of other people talking to make up for the fact that Link says jack all.
Um,
Like there's gonna have to be a lot of people around him talking.
You know who talks too much in Zelda?
No, Link doesn't talk at all. And there's a
But
lot.
do you know who talks too much in Zelda and could make up for that?
Oh, please don't. Look, here's the problem.
Listen!
People give Navi a bad rap.
Just be like a solid 100% character. Hey, listen! She could just around the whole time.
Why are people so hard on Navi? I really don't understand. I mean, I guess.
Dude, did you hear what I said?
50-50, I understand that, hey, listen, can get
Nobody wants to fucking hear that.
He's just trying to get your attention. And I mean, Aonuma hurt, y'all. We don't have fairies anymore that accompany you. So, I mean, he hurt you.
Yeah.
Navi was the last fairy that ever accompanied Link. After that, I don't know what happened to any of them. Which is funny that I say that, considering how, like, prevalent fairies still are in the Zelda universe. Like, have you heard the fairies in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? Like, I'm gonna say, like, if you haven't heard them, look up the sound effect, but make sure you have headphones on.
Really? It's that bad?
No, it's not that it's bad. It just sounds like a porn. Like, I'm not even kidding you. I don't know why they come out moaning, but that's what it sounds like to a lot of people. Apparently somebody online said that they were playing this game on full blast in their apartment, and they got a complaint notice from the landlord saying that, you know, they were in there watching very loud pornography in their room, but they weren't. They were playing Breath of the Wild when it first came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the fairies sound like they do in the recent Zelda games, but they do. It's just like, what in the world? Like, I don't know what Aonuma was doing, but he needs to stop whatever it was. He needs to stop. It was like, I don't know. I feel like I feel like I mean, I think Zelda is as an important property as Mario. I feel like they're gonna do it correctly, especially since Nintendo specifically isn't gonna just like,
you know, but
that
the fact that it's that important might be the exact reason that it gets fucked up.
I don't think Nintendo's gonna just like be hands off though. I don't think they were hands off at all for like the Mario stuff. Like, to me, I feel like Nintendo probably the one company that, you know, that tells them when they want to make a movie, but they don't remain hands off. I feel like Nintendo specifically will be the company that a movie that they have their name on, they want to make sure that it lives up to expectations. I hope they're not too hands on.
Excuse me.
You're fine. I hope they're not too hands on, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm still like 50-50. I've like this has been an argument in my head for years about, like, should Link talk, should Link not talk? Because I can see both sides of the argument of like you said before, Link is synonymous with silent protagonist. Like, he is the silent protagonist. It probably like really off-putting for like Link to talk, but at the same time, I think the same argument was made for Mario. Like, Mario doesn't really speak complete sentences. It's mostly just it's me Mario for the most part. Aha, in those games, like, he doesn't really say much of anything at all. I mean, even in Super Mario Sunshine, the game synonymous with voice acting, Mario did not say a one sentence, even though he was probably capable of it. He didn't say a dang word. Like, Mario has been a silent protagonist his entire life too. Like, Mario hasn't spoken a word. I don't think Mario's spoken a word his entire life, and yet they have him talking up a storm in the Mario movie. People seem to like that. So I was saying, I think there's an argument that can be honestly made for silent protagonists speaking in movies.
Mario's not really a silent protagonist, though, is he?
He doesn't speak. Mario never spoke once.
He spoke in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
That's in that Mario game, though.
But it is Mario.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll know. Not know, but Miyamoto said that's probably like, I don't know how you explain it, but Miyamoto will come up with something. It's how he explains. It's how he explains like how Mario and Bowser are enemies most of the day, but like why is it they can go bowling together? And he said they're best friends. They just have a job to do. I'll swear. I'm like, excuse me.
But that's what I'm saying. Mario is a very imprecise concept.
I think for me, I just don't want to be doom and gloom on this Zelda movie because like I'm very excited for another IP to gain something from.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I want it to succeed. I just think the pressure's really on.
Would the same pressure be there for like the Metroid universe if they were to make a movie with them? Because like, I want to say Brie Larson has.
Yeah, I don't know as much about the Metroid universe. Does the Metroid universe have like timelines and shit? Like, there's just one Samus, so that immediately makes it more simple than the Zelda timeline. There's just one concept, right? Does she have multiple final bosses, like, or is it pretty much Ridley, Mother Brain, like the Rogue Metroid that like adopts her and stuff like that? Like, what's the rest of it?
She fights Metroids. She's fought her surrogate father in a recent game.
Okay.
There's other enemies. I mean, she fights Dark Samus in the Metroid Prime series. There's another guy named Silas that has a problem with her.
Is there generally does she generally fight the same boss even though there's some other ones?
No, Mother Brain doesn't come back, and she's only ever fought Ridley 3 times. I thought he stayed dead for some really weird reason. Even though it's clear that he can keep coming back. I don't know why they have yet to reuse him, but maybe the next Metroid Prime game, Prime 4, he comes back. I had no idea. I don't know what because there's a whole different thing going on in Metroid Prime 4. Samus got psychic powers. We all know she don't need them. But she got psychic powers in that game now. So. She's met another alien race. But you said the problem with the Legend of Zelda worlds is because there's just too many Links reincarnated throughout the entire thing in Zelda.
No, I just think that it's muddled. It's going to be hard because it's a muddled, complicated timeline, and the Zelda fan base is going to care a lot about that. About like which version of Zelda they bring in, like which timelines embrace, if it's the fallen hero, if it's the other hero, like they're going to care about that stuff a lot. And yes, there's going to be the fun things like cameos, like are they going to bring the whistle in? Are they going to bring the hook shot in? Are they going to bring Impa in and stuff like that? You know what I mean? But then, like when he opens his mouth and starts talking, like you are now breaking ground and doing things that are not in the games and making your own.
I feel like they did this.
Your own concepts.
I feel like the same thing was going on with Mario. I wasn't really all that comfortable with him talking, really, at first. I thought, like, for me, because here's the thing. Maybe you were fine with Mario talking, but when I first started hearing the idea that Mario was going to talk, when they actually cast, I forgot who that guy was. He was like Star-Lord from, like, Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Chris Pratt. When they cast Chris Pratt, I was caught off guard. Because I was like, what in the world? Why did they put Chris Pratt in that role? What the heck? And then from there, I'm like, for me, it's like, well, I got used to the idea that Mario was talking. The back of my head is like, Mario doesn't talk. He may say a few words, but he never talks full sentences. Like in the Mario.
Doesn't he say some basic? Does he ever I know it's like a meme for YouTube videos and stuff that have Mario, but Does he say like "I did it" and like "Mamma Mia" and a couple of those things that you hear him say like in parodies of him, or is that purely a parody thing?
I mean, he says "Mamma Mia" when he dies. Like he makes noises like Link does. I mean, he does say a couple words, but like for me, it was like in the Mario movie. You're talking about a movie. Mario is speaking full-on sentences. This isn't something that Mario did in the games. If Mario had like, even if he'd done it in one game, to me, okay, in one of those mainline Mario games where he's you controlling him, he was speaking to another character and having conversations. Okay, I would have been fine because like, okay, I'm used to Mario doing that. But like in a movie, when he's only ever done talking in sentences, like in only in the movie universe, I'm just like, that's off-putting for some really weird reason for me. Granted, I got used to it. I'm not really bothered by it, really. But it was one of those situations, like, to me, it's like, I always thought of Mario as someone who doesn't speak to his enemies. He just bounces on them and defeats them and moves on to the next thing. He never, like, he never had full-on cutscenes talking to Bowser. It's like, you took Princess Peach from me. And then, like, having these fight scenes, like these full-on CGI cutscenes. That's what I think about when you're talking about having a conversation back and forth. That's like RPGs, for instance. That's where I get that from. But Mario, like Mario's been RPGs, but again, even in the RPGs, you know what Mario does in those games? He jumps. That's all he does to respond to an enemy. I'm not even kidding you. Like look up Super Mario RPG. Good example of a RPG he's in. He doesn't talk. He just bounces. He responds with a hop. He doesn't speak at all.
Doesn't he talk in text form though, or does he not talk in text?
No, he never does. Never does. Not once.
I know the other characters do. I couldn't remember if Mario did.
Yeah, Mario just stays silent. Luigi's the one that talks in full sentences for the most part. But like again, I get I wasn't bothered about Luigi because Luigi's had characterization throughout his entire life. Like at this point, like I understand what I'm getting with him. Mario's the character who isn't.
Is it Mario RPG where Luigi has a diary?
I think there's multiple instances of Luigi having a diary. I know in Paper Mario: 1,000 Year Door he does. He might have one in Mario RPG. I couldn't tell you. I haven't played it in a while. But yeah, like Mario doesn't have full on conversations with people. He doesn't. He never has. That's like when it came down to Mario speaking, and I was like, at first I was like, okay, if he's gonna give him a voice, I expected it to be Italian. Chris Pratt did his best.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like to me, it's like I feel like the concept of like I feel like the only real issue with Link talking would just be Link talking in general. But at the same time, it's like you run into the risk of like because like people who play the video games, they won't care because like Link's never spoken a day in his life. Like he'll still have to make the hi-ya, the those noises when he's in the movie to be canonical to the Link that we all know and love. But like at the same time, like there's going to be situations in the movie where Link's going to be by himself and doing the hi-ya to you're like the issue you're going to run into with Link not talking is you're going to have those critics out there. They're like, Link doesn't talk. What's the point of this movie? They're going to give it a 0 out whatever because like they're gonna like, I mean, that's an extreme example, but I feel like there'll be critics out there who will do that to a movie. They'll give it a lower rating because they want to bomb the movie's chances of being successful. Like it's just like I feel like there are people out there. I feel like Link having a reason to not speak would actually quell a lot of them. Will it stop them from giving a bad rating? No. Like I mean, so like I guess the
maybe Ursula could come across Link and steal his voice like she did to Ariel.
I don't think we need Disney crossing.
Maybe he has a beautiful singing voice at the beginning of the show, and then Ursula takes it. Maybe he's like, ah, ha, ha, la la la.
I don't know if I want my Disney crossing over with my Nintendo. That just seems wrong on so many levels.
Why not? I think it'd be great. La 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 la. Disney could buy Nintendo just to do it.
I don't think I want Disney buying Nintendo.
Wouldn't that be awful?
I think. Well, first of all, Nintendo's too dang big. On top of that, Nintendo is a Japanese corporation. I think the only part of Nintendo they could actually buy would be Nintendo of America. And even then, I don't think Nintendo Japan will let that happen. So, like, in reality, unless something really, really went wrong, unless something catastrophic happened, I don't think there's a world that where like Disney would buy Nintendo. But then again, people probably thought the same thing for Star Wars, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be as realistic, but also very high expectations. But while I understand that Link being silent would make a lot of people, especially like the core and Legend of Zelda fans, happy. Like I don't personally care, but I'm more worried about critics because like people who don't know what a Legend of Zelda is, when they look at critic scores, and if those critics aren't gonna be fair to the movie, like
Uh-huh.
because like a perfect example of critics not being fair to something, early days of Pokemon during the third generation of Pokemon, IGN gave a really weird rating. I'm pretty sure you heard this phrase, 0 out of 10, too much water. Some places on the internet. That was IGN with Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Like they thought there was too much surfing going on. I don't completely understand what the issue was there because Hoenn was an island-like region. I don't completely
Uh-huh.
understand what was going on there, but they gave it a dumb rating like that. Granted, Pokemon was Pokemon during the time, so a lot of people probably didn't pay that much attention. But that's a video game, and that was like dedicated Pokemon fans. When you take a property out of a dedicated fan interaction space and you put it out there for other people to engage with, the people that don't engage with your video games, and you're putting your game into a different
Uh-huh.
medium, you run the risk of like really mean spirited folk bashing the movie because they can and they know that it will hurt the company's reputation. Like honestly, maybe I'm not giving people, enough credit. Maybe they won't listen to the critics because there are some movies that critics gave really bad ratings, but in the end the movie wasn't all that bad. I just I fear that Link being silent is just gonna be a trap waiting to happen. Like it's just like it's one of those situations. Like you said, the movie you're afraid of the movie bombing. Like I think the only reason like a movie would bomb is if Link was silent, because like when in the first opening scene, Link isn't talking. Like boy oh boy, I sure hope that the critics who go out and watch that movie to review it later do not docket major points for Link being silent.
So which voice, when he does have a voice, are they going to base it on Wand of Gamelon or the cartoon?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've heard the voices from any of those.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I was aware of
You haven't heard
Legends.
the old Zelda cartoon?
I was aware of the Zelda cartoon, but I don't think I ever watched it.
Where he like spends the entire cartoon like at least once an episode asking for a kiss, and his catchphrase is, "Well, excuse me, princess."
I've heard about the bad Zelda live action, not live action, but the bad Zelda, Legend of Zelda, like cartoon or like that. I'm aware of
That's the
its,
cartoon.
yeah, I'm aware
It's
of its
like
existence, but I'm just
it's
like,
loved though. It's not. It's bad, but it's like people. It's like one of those so bad it's good ones.
huh? I just again, it's like, hey, do I care whether Link talks or not? Not really. As long as they can make the movie compelling enough, and I'm not sitting here like looking at my watch, wondering when the movie's gonna be over because I'm just straight up bored out of my mind. But I feel like Link. I feel like a lot of this movie's success is gonna hinge on Link specifically. Like if the movie was hinging on Zelda, that'd be a different story. I wouldn't care. I feel the movie would be awesome because Zelda is a good character. She's got some really good characterizations throughout the entirety of the freaking universe. Just period. She's like they like when it comes to Zelda, they really do a good job at like if she's gonna do something and she's gonna have a character, they really lean into it. They don't like hold they don't really hold anything. I mean that's why I like the Zelda specifically from the Wind Waker line is really cool. I like her a lot. I like the Zelda from the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, because like she's really cool in that one too. Like there's some good characterizations of Zelda. Um,
Mhm.
it's just one of those things like Link doesn't have that for a lot of reasons, but it's like the closest he's probably had any real character is in Breath of the Wild, because like you know he actually has a past. Like Link actually has a backstory in in those games, so it's like, but I guess they could lean into that. But like again, it like with like, hey, if they actually really do a silent Link really good, and it doesn't matter if he doesn't speak, that'd be awesome. I don't know how they would do that, because again, like Link making noises is kind of funny. But like they couldn't do that throughout the movie to make that work, because like it'd be just as annoying as, hey, listen.
Hey, listen.
Like imagine Link screaming every 5 seconds. It's like
Hot? Hot?
basically that. Like that wouldn't work. I mean, it'd be funny, right, for the first 5 seconds, but some people get really
Did you
annoyed.
ever see the, not that I think this would work with Zelda, but did you ever see with television Eon Flux shorts, animated shorts, when they were out?
Illusion animated shorts of what?
Liquid Television, MTV's Liquid Television, was in the late '90s. Was a thing where they would play like a lot of different animation and a lot of different cartoons, and a lot of them were kind of like experimental level or groundbreaking or underground kind of animations and stuff like that. One of the things they would do once in a while is show short of this show called Eon Flux, and the main characters, none of the characters would speak, and it was all silent, and it was all built around the action of it, and it was really cool. And like they told the story by like showing, not telling, with everything. It was like really, really engaging. And then they made a TV series out of it called The Unflux because the shorts were so popular.
Mm-hmm.
And it was okay, but I felt like they ruined it when they started talking. Like I felt like well, not ruined it, but it was very near. The draw to me was like the silent, like you're there to try to figure stuff out. And when they took that away, like I couldn't get into it as much.
I mean, because that's the thing. Like, if they could make them, because like this is a movie. This isn't going to be like a 30-minute episodic, 24 episode thing for like Legend of Zelda in the theater. This is going to be a full 2 hour, no, an hour like 30-minute movie. But they're gonna have to make interesting enough for people to want to come and watch it, and then bring their friends with them as well. If they could do what you just said, and it was successful,
Yeah,
and Nintendo did it in their Nintendo way, that movie would do so freaking well.
I would be fucking ripped. I would love it,
Like,
but I don't know how they would pull it off.
because that's the thing. Like, like that would have to hinge, and again, that would have to hinge on Link, totally on Link. And again, it's like
Yeah,
Link can hold a movie. That's no problem. I think the problem we run into is Link talking. I think maybe that's really the bigger issue here, is like, should Link remain silent or should Link be talking?
wasn't there a Game Boy game where Link spoke as well?
I think it was a CDI game, whatever like that. I forgot the name of it. I've seen
Well,
that.
the Wand of Gamelon and its sequel, unless Wand of Gamelon is the sequel, was the CDI games. But
I know there's various varying situations where Link was talking in some video games, but I know that they don't ever really hang on to that too much. I notice when it comes to Link. I don't know, like
yeah,
maybe Aonuma doesn't like Link talking, which I mean, if that's the case, then it's like Link may not be talking in those movies if Aonuma has his way. Um, because I will say this is an interesting thing now that should bring this up, and I guess if we can start bringing this to a close. Um,
okay, so the closest example to Kingdom Game Boy game was Legend of Zelda, where Link had occasional text dialogue spoken by the player character, but it's always brief, minimal, and written, like choosing responses in conversations.
what game?
Link's Awakening.
You could. You can respond in Link's Awakening?
Occasionally, according to ChatGPT.
I wouldn't trust ChatGPT, but I'm willing to believe it, and I'm only really willing to believe it because a few
It's
things.
text. It's not. It's not literal spoken, but it was like text things he could say.
I mean, that's kind of Link talking. But no,
Yeah.
what I was trying to get to was that game was all a fever dream in the first place. As far as I remember, like that was Link dreaming. No, wait, no, it wasn't a dream. Wait a minute, Link's Awakening. Oh, I think there was some like big like Link's Awakening dream. Yeah, it get like well, it says like, Link's Awakening feature says it was all a dream narrative. But I guess in reality, like that game could just be considered a dream. So there's a lot of things in that game, from what I heard and from what I saw, that there's no way to explain it other than that Link was just dreaming. Because there's a chain chomp in that game.
Yeah.
So it's like it does an out of place chain chomp. But it's like I guess one of those
Early
things.
Zelda had a lot of Mario that would creep in. Some Zelda too. Whistle, the recorder.
Hmm? What?
The recorder from Zelda 1 that would let him like work from different locations in the map.
Uh-huh.
In Mario 3, there was a whistle that would warp in between worlds. It was the same thing.
Oh,
They even made the same music.
oh, interesting. But even with that being said, like with Link having occasional work, again, that still wouldn't work in a movie. That's why I was thinking, like, man, this get Link, the movie context, like for a Legend of Zelda game, is cool in my opinion because of the story. I think Legend of Zelda is the closest thing to Lord of the Rings that Nintendo freaking has, and like, I could really run with it and make good movies off of it. But with that being said, Link talking will definitely be a huge sticking point, whether he does it or not. But what I wanted to bring up was like they already cast a. I think they already cast a character for Zelda, but they didn't talk about casting anybody for Link yet.
That'd be really interesting. Zelda, I feel like, is an easier sell. I feel it's easier to be Zelda than Link.
Oh, they haven't casted anybody for Zelda yet. Like, there's a person that they're saying that Hunter Schafer is reportedly being considered.
Yeah,
Oh God, there's a rumor going around that Tom Holland's supposed to be Link.
that would be ridiculous.
I'm sorry. If they put that man in a green tunic, I'm gonna be done. Danny DeVito is supposed to be. This is all fan stuff. This isn't real. But like, Danny DeVito is supposed to be Tingle.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that's what people were saying in the fan made thing is that Danny DeVito is Tingle.
That's nightmare fuel.
I could actually see that considering Tingle's nightmare fuel. Let's be honest. But they already got a release date from May 7th of 2027, so they already have to have these characters casted. Um, but again, it's like Link is gonna make or break this movie, which is unfortunate. Now I'm really thinking about it because like people can't get past Link or deal with Link, then they're not gonna be able to get into the movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe, and I hate to even admit it, I hate to even admit this because I have to be real. You know, Link talking will be a sticking point. Um, for the movie. Now, for like the dedicated fans, they probably won't matter. It's gonna be really for the people who watch movies for movies and story and whatnot. If the main character doesn't speak or doesn't speak, it's gonna really hinge on the fact that like if they can get into the movie from the very first few minutes to an hour of the movie being on the screen. And for the most part, movies they talk. You know, they have people talking. They have things like laying out the lore. Granted, they'll have the benefit of a narrator laying out Legends of the lore. But after that point, it's gonna be Link, unless they do what you said they did on MTV. They can really get they can get the story through action. They don't even need Zelda talking, because they could just throw Zelda in as a damsel in distress, and that's what her role would be for the entirety of the movie. And people shouldn't be too upset with that, considering that's kind of what Zelda's role was at the very beginning, was that she was the thing that Link was going after to save. That didn't change until much later down the timeline when Zelda got powers and started having her own character. Um, and the same thing could be said about Ganondorf too. Ganondorf doesn't necessarily need to speak, because they could like have his might be the thing that they show that displays everything he's trying to do. Ganondorf doesn't need to be anything but just a cool thing that Link gets to fight at the end of the movie. Um,
I hope they do something.
hmm?
I hope they do something a little.
Keep cutting out. You hope to do something a little more.
I hope the story does something more
I hate that.
level.
I hate that you keep cutting out.
I can't control it, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm hearing you. You hope the story does something a little more, and then you cut out there, and like
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to hear you say. What did you say in that blank?
I'm hoping that the story they add
No.
a lot of depth to it.
Oh, you cut out again. You hope it does something more in depth. Is what you're trying to get out?
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know what else they could like. I guess the only what they would really do, and I'd be fairly interested in this because they don't do this at all in the games. They don't even bother acknowledging it. Um, the Gerudos are a mostly matriarchal society. There are only women that get born in that group, but every now and then a male does get born, and that's what resulted in Ganondorf. They could really go into like what led Ganon to doing what he's doing, because it seems so random that like I've always had the point of view that Ganondorf shouldn't have been evil. He had a bunch of women around him for the most part. Like, and I'm not saying that in a sexist manner. I'm mostly saying that like I feel like they should have had a lot more of an effect on him than it's clear that he didn't. I'd like to know who the heck Ganon's mother is, because like I mean, if she's dead or not, because I don't know what led Ganon down the dark path that he went down. I feel like there's more there than Al-Numa's ever really let us believe. Every incarnation of Ganon has just been an evil douchebag. No real reason other than, hey, I'm an evil douche. And not that I'm saying he needs a motivation beyond just him being evil, but it's like it'd be cool with a movie give Ganon more character. Like that'd be freaking cool. Like Zelda, you know, dive more into that whole her relationship with her father. That's been a sticking point in most recent years of Zelda games. Is Zelda's relationship with her father, her relationship with her kingdom, um, her non-relationship with Link.
Yeah, Zelda's only kissed Link twice.
She's kissed Link at
There's
all?
whole like
Wait, she's kissed
yeah.
Link?
She kissed Link at the end of Zelda 2,
Oh, okay.
and
I'm like,
I'm
wait,
trying to remember the other.
yeah,
The
no.
other one was the one I'm less familiar with, but Zelda 2 for sure.
Wait, doesn't
Um, Skyward Sword.
wait?
There's no on-screen kiss.
I'm trying to think because I played that game. Um, well, yeah, there's no on-screen kiss, but there's on-screen chemistry. It's very clear that Zelda's into Link.
Okay, then according to this is where according to ChatGPT, it's just the one game, but I swear I've seen it, or I recently watched a YouTube video where they mentioned another.
The other
They
kiss,
did something stupid like Wand of Gamelon.
I think, I'm trying to remember. There's Spirit Tracks and the Zelda there. is a little bit different than the more recent Zelda we gotten. But like that Zelda.
Okay, it is. It's Wand of Gamelon. Zelda kissed Link and Wand of Gamelon.
Oh,
ChatGPT just didn't count it. I think it's not a canon Zelda game.
okay. Yeah, I mean Zelda. Again, Zelda's non-relationship with Link. That's also something that they don't like. That doesn't ever get delved into. Granted, I will say this much: it's only become recently aware to me. Then I guess I should have noticed this from the very beginning. A lot of Zelda games, Link is just the guy that just shows up out of nowhere and saves Zelda. And I don't know why this didn't occur to me. It only occurred to me recently, and it occurred to me in the weirdest place in a Zelda game is in Echoes of Wisdom. That's the first game that you can play as Zelda, and there's a point in the game very early on. For people who don't know this, like, play Echoes of Wisdom. It's actually really good. It's a really big game, bigger than I thought it would. I don't think Nintendo did a good job explaining that top-down game was a lot bigger than you think it is. Um, but there's a point in the game where, because like Link saves Zelda at the very beginning of the game, and then Link gets apparently taken into another universe in front of Zelda after he saves her. He shatters the crystal that Ganon had, imprisoned her in, and you run away as Zelda. And then the game opens up. But then, like, because Zelda apparently there's something going on, and Zelda's getting framed for what's been going on in Hyrule this time around. So you're playing as Zelda in a hood, and you find yourself and you wander around in
Zelda. Did you just say Zelda in the
Zelda in a hood? I knew you're going to do that to me.
Why has everything got to be so black?
That's not. Zelda's wearing a hood.
Everything's got to be so black. Zelda in the hood.
Zelda's wearing a disguise, and nobody can recognize her. Apparently,
Is it because he's wearing blackface?
Zelda, you wander around the game. I found myself in Link's like hometown where he grew up in. You talk to, I think you talked to the person who raised Link, and like one of the things you can actually ask him is about what's been going on or who is Link. It became very clear to me with that question of like Zelda asking who is Link, that Link and Zelda don't know each other. It's only been a few games where Link and Zelda even know each other.
That's a good point.
Like Link and Zelda just don't know. Link just shows up out of nowhere. He legitimately shows up out of nowhere. Like there's no rhyme or reason for it. He just shows up. And then some games there's a reason for it, but like when Link and Zelda never. There's only a few games where they actually meet each other and then they talk or they become friends. Some cases like in Breath of the Wild, Link is her bodyguard, so like they are really intimately equated with know each other in that game. They're kind of like childhood friends. Skyward Sword, Link and Zelda are childhood friends. Zelda isn't even a princess in that game. Twilight Princess, Link and Zelda don't know each other. First few games, Legend of Zelda, Link and Zelda don't know each other. I think not Twilight Princess, but A Link to the Past, Link and Zelda don't know each other, but Zelda still manages to get a message sent out to him to help her.
I mean, Link always knows of Zelda.
No, Link never knows any. Like, there's only a few Zeldas that he these reincarnated Links even know about. Like he meets Zeldas throughout the entire thing, but there's varying relationships with these two. Some, like they're just estranged for the most part. Like they don't like. I would like a game where Link and Zelda are kind of like siblings, though. That would probably ruin the whole kissing thing. We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, they can't be siblings.
Like, there's got to be a version of Link and Zelda that we haven't seen yet that's just been somewhere. I don't know what version of that would be, but like so far as like Link and Zelda have been childhood friends. Link and Zelda have been, Link's been Zelda's bodyguard. Ocarina of Time, Link's an orphan, and he meets Zelda just on a whim. Same thing with Twilight Princess. Link is on his own. He's like a teenager by this point, but he ends up like meeting Zelda on a whim. When her castle's been taken over by the darkness there. Like Wind Waker, Link is an island boy who's just a lazy island boy, but he ends up like
he's just a boy. Sorry.
Link in Wind Waker is just a lazy boy who basically ends up being sent on a mission to save his sister, but ends up meeting Zelda as a result. Uh,
Okay.
in the games beyond that one, those links meet that Zelda's grandchildren, just even weirder. I mean, no, actually, well, I mean, I guess that Link is also the grandson of the original Link. Whatever. Well, basically, what I'm saying is this, like really in real reality, it seems like more often than not, Link and Zelda just don't know about each other, and they just somehow like come across each other at some point in Link's adventure, and like that's just it. And in some instances, Link is, you know, close to Zelda. There's only varying instances in which, you know, it's clear that Zelda might have a crush on Link. And so far, there's only 2 instances of this: Skyward Sword, where it's made very obvious, and then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where she actually starts falling in love with Link in those games. Like like it's pretty clear. Like those are the only instances I can think of right now that Link, and also Wind Waker, when she falls in love with him there too, I believe. But other than that, it's like Link and Zelda just don't have a relationship. Link has saved her through time and space, and he's never gotten laid once.
Well, yeah. Does he just like reincarnate? Is that basically how Links reproduce?
I mean, well, Link's and Zelda's. I mean,
Just hijack somebody
I mean,
else's
like
sperm cell?
Link,
Soul?
Zelda, and Ganondorf all reincarnate through time and space.
Imagine what that must be like in the afterlife. Like someone goes to get born, kind of muscles in. He's my body. He just takes it over, and that spirit has to go back to the netherworld.
But yeah, it's just one of those.
We never talk about that, but I mean that's probably Darklink there. Darklink probably like that was my body.
I don't think Dark Link even exists, really. I know Dark Link shows up in Ocarina of Time. I think Dark Link shows up in Twilight Princess. There's a few instances where Dark Link shows up, but it's never totally explained what the heck that thing is. Dark Link hasn't got a chance to be a villain yet. I'm actually kind of disappointed with that one. It should really make maybe it's the next game that Anime should work on is making a Dark Link a main villain. But yeah, like Link and Zelda just don't have like it's one of those things like I find interesting is like Link doesn't know this girl in most adventures and goes out and saves her by accident.
Yeah.
In some cases, because like again, like Zelda isn't the main damsel in distress for a lot of games. She kind of happens to be there for some of them. In other games, she is the damsel in distress. Like the very first game of Legend of Zelda, she is the thing they are trying to rescue. I hate to call her a thing, but that's kind of like the archetype that they're fulfilling their power trip. You know, man saves woman back in that time. I hate to like dwindle Zelda down to that. That's kind of like what that was.
What was it? I'm sorry.
The whole power trip of man saves woman. Basically.
Oh yeah. It was just a low budget like video game cliche. Like let's face it, the first Legend of Zelda, it was a high budget, low budget game. Do you know what I mean by that?
No, I can't tell you why.
Like video games didn't cost as much to make back then. You know, and they were like much more chaotically built. People didn't think they were going to make millions and millions of dollars back then. So they didn't take it quite seriously as they are now. So Zelda, like at the time, was a fairly high budget video game to be made, but also at the time there was no high budget video game. It's not like they were making Xenoblade Chronicles or something. Like they didn't years of development to make Zelda.
Xenoblade is such a weird. I understand you're talking about like high, just like a lot of money, but also not a lot of money at the same time. Well, Xenoblade specifically, such an interesting thing because like
Zelda 1 took 2 years to develop, so I guess that's
That's about average at the time.
That's what?
That's probably about average at the time. But then Nintendo was like at that time the only one making video games. It wasn't, and Sony entered the race many years later.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles.
What?
Xenoblade Chronicles took 3 years to develop.
3 years?
What is it Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Is that what the sequel is?
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a sequel. I mean, this game took a while. I mean, Monolith Studio right now is like in the process of making their next big budget game right now. They even said that they're currently working on it, and like the words of the head there was like he wants to make a deceptive. He wants to make a game that deceives the player, but in a good way. What he said with the gameplay. I don't know what he's talking about with that one, but I know that like that person in particular, I think his name was Tetsuya, whatever his name is. Fun fact for people who probably don't know this, that guy used to be a part of Square Enix. Like, he used to be a part of the Final Fantasy team. What Xenoblade or what the Xeno series was supposed to be, or what the Xenoblade series is right now, was what he was trying to do for Final Fantasy, but they didn't want to do it. So he left.
Why not?
I don't know. They just didn't want to allow him to do it. So he left. And he was grabbed by Nintendo. And Nintendo gave him the money and the leeway. They just said, do what you want to do. That's how Chronicles got made. Nintendo literally let Square Enix literally let somebody that good walk away. And I bet they regret it now. Because of what he's been able to do with Monolith. The games that they've been able to make is ridiculous. I still can't believe like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is still a Nintendo property. Like that still blows my mind.
Okay, so here's the difference when I said high budget. Here's the difference between Legend of Zelda. So it did take 2 years to make, and Xenoblade took.
I'll let you finish. I just want to say this will be the last thing we say, and then we have to end the podcast.
Oh, okay. The big difference between Xenoblade and Zelda is not that you take an extra year significant. That's not really the point. The Legend of Zelda was developed by a small team of 10 to 15 people. And it took them 2 years. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 took 3 years to develop and had a team of 300 people developing it. So, like, creating a video game nowadays is a completely different prospect.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot more moving parts involved. I mean, on top of that, there aren't like cutscenes running in Legend of Zelda, the first one. And in fact, actually, like I think it takes a while. No, it takes to an N64 for them to start actually running in-game cutscenes. And then not everything underneath Nintendo, like at that point, started going cutscene heavy. Because even like, for instance, a Game Freak, it took them years to go into the cutscene thing.
Yeah.
Like they did, like I want to say like they didn't run cutscenes in their game, like in-game cutscenes in their till first we. Weird though, I keep tanking, but it never disconnects. That's a change. Usually when we start tanking, we disconnect. But really quick. You know, Game Freak didn't start running cutscenes in their games until like I want to say like. I mean, I guess they don't really run cutscenes all that much. Not until Scarlet and Violet. Right, ran some cutscenes. No, they ran cutscenes in Shield and Sword and Shield. They didn't. I want to say they didn't probably start running true blue cutscenes until like the 3DS era. But they were kind of doing 2D sprites for a long time. But like they had their own like little spurts of like in-game stuff. Like they had moments where they stopped the player and they have to play out. But it wasn't like a full-blown cutscene like there is in all the RPG. I mean, in Zelda, like they just started going cutscene heavy at a certain point. Like they even started doing freaking voice acting for the while. So there's a lot more things going into a Zelda game now than there was when it first started. But yet game development has changed and has become a multi-billion-dollar, process. And unfortunately, with the way things are going, games are getting more expensive, and some people are saying we might be heading for a crash. I don't know what that's gonna look like, because that scares me to an extent. Because we heading for a crash, I don't know what's gonna happen with the industry. Like we may just stop getting games for a couple years. But I guess maybe it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. Like I don't want like some companies to lose their employees because like Xbox has already started laying off they've already laid off a mass amount of people. Some games that got canceled from these layoffs, like Perfect Dark, the remake got canceled. There was a remake for that game coming out, and the Xbox laid off that company, shuttered it. I don't know where that game is going, if the game's gonna go anywhere. I hope Nintendo decides to reach in, say, we're gonna take that from you, and we're gonna like build it up again. I don't think they're going
Perfect Dark was really. I take it back. That's another shooter that I kind of.
Oh, you like Perfect Dark?
The original Perfect Dark, yeah.
And there was talks about remaking, and there was actually showing a gameplay demo, but Microsoft just said, I don't know what they said. They just got rid of the team. Like, it just got shuttered. I don't know what happened. I mean, so far, the only other property that is currently going on right now that I'm actually interested in that's going to be cross-platform is going to be the James Bond stuff they're working on. I think it's going to be a trilogy, because like the very first game that that's coming out is going to be like James Bond when he's younger. Like before he became James Bond. Like it's gonna be a third person game, taking the style of like Hitman kind of. But like there's gonna be a game like that, so I'm gonna be able to go into James Bond. I never played GoldenEye. I always hear good things from people who have played it back in the days. I understand like it's got a history with people, but actually, I wonder, are they still making 007 movies, or did they stop?
They probably.
Yeah, probably. I think. I know Metroid's a game I would like to see what they could do. For people will have to see if they're going to do it. Again, Metroid isn't a system seller. You know, there's the dedicated fans, but like, it's not like they're not like Mario Rabbit fans. Like they're just not like chomping at the bit every year. Metroid doesn't get as much love as it should. I know Miyamoto's a fan of Pikmin, so I suspect the Pikmin's gonna probably get a movie at some point. I don't know how that's gonna work though, considering how Pikmin's gameplay works, but we shall see. There's story in there too. There's probably a few games they could probably make movies out of, depending on like if they wanted to spend that money. Donkey Kong's like next, apparently. There's a copyright already out there for that. I suspect that that's probably gonna be. I mean, I suspected a long time ago that they're probably gonna work on something Donkey Kong related, because he was included in the first Mario movie. In fact, he was like a prominent figure in the first Mario movie. They even gave him a freaking fire power up, and I was very shocked by that. I wasn't expecting Donkey Kong to get a fire flower. DK was not something I was expecting to see them feature prominently. I'm actually kind of surprised that Link didn't make a cameo. The first Mario movie. Maybe they didn't do that because they were going to do a live action movie like right after.
Link make a cameo in what movie?
The Mario movie.
Oh, I think that would have been terrible.
Included DK.
Yeah, but he feels like Mario, and he appeared together in the original Donkey Kong game. Had Mario or a version of Mario in it.
I don't know, but it would be kind of silly fun. I mean, I don't know. It would have been kind of. I know it would have been totally out of place, but like, what isn't? A cameo isn't supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be there. It's like, oh, that's strange. Actually, now speaking of cameos, before we end here, wonder like what kind of cameo is gonna show up in Mario 2. Oh, correction. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is what they're calling it. No, Mario World is what they're calling it Super Mario World. I don't know like what they would like. I wonder, do you think Wario's gonna show up in the next Mario movie?
Wario?
Yeah.
I may be. I want to see Waluigi. Proton John made me fall in love with Waluigi.
I think for some time, a lot of people follow Waluigi, but the problem with Waluigi is that Waluigi is not a Nintendo-made character. That was made by Camelot, the people that made Mario Tennis and whatnot. Like Waluigi was made because Wario needed a doubles partner. That's why like Waluigi doesn't have much personality beyond the wah and the personality that Proton John gave him.
Yeah.
Like Waluigi himself does not have a lot of personality. Now, granted, that's a perfect character they could throw in a movie and actually give personality.
But couldn't you see Waluigi being like a? I don't know if you're Lemony. Couldn't you see Waluigi being like a Lemony Snicket style like character where like everything sour is good and you know what I mean? He likes to raw onion, make drinks, sour like gross thing. Live in a life where like everything that would make a normal person makes him happy, and that's okay. I don't know. In sort of a horrible kind of way.
I don't know. Like, would Wario be able to stand that? Those two are best friends. I'm aware of Lemony Snicket. I have not seen anything from that universe. I know my sister read those books and I think watched some movies, but I was never too keen on that.
Uh-huh.
I always somehow, when I looked at him, always thought of what's his name from the Willy Wonka. Weirdly enough, I always thought about him as Willy Wonka, but it's probably what he was based off of. Lemony Snicket, I mean, like I think maybe he was based off of Willy Wonka in some respects, but not full on. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of cool. I mean, again, Waluigi is like a blank slate, so they could like really run whatever they want on him if they really wanted to run with Waluigi. Doing what you said actually would probably make a lot of sense in regards of like Waluigi has no personality that they need to really worry about. That they could ruin. They could just make their own.
Yeah.
Rebrand him underneath the Nintendo, stuff like they rebranded Donkey Kong. They could do that. I would really like them to like bring in Daisy and not because like she's my favorite character. I think they need to bring in somebody that could like chat with Princess Peach because I like the characterization that they gave her in the movie. Like she isn't like pardon my French, she isn't a dumb blonde. Which is like what I always pictured Princess Peach being. Considering like her mannerisms and stuff like that in the video games, she never seemed all that bright. And I don't know if that was on purpose or accidental.
Uh-huh.
Like I like that they changed that with Princess Peach in the movies. But I feel like they could really run with that and then put Daisy in there. And like if they want to like rebrand Daisy and do something different.
Why do you want more women in the Mario movies? Like, why is this like you keep bringing this up?
There's not many in the Mario universe that they take advantage of. There's only so many. Like, there's Daisy, there's Rosalina, and then there's Pauline, and well, Bowsette isn't. Bowsette's is a fan problem. I'm not gonna bring her up.
There's one of the Koopalings. I forget her name is too.
Come on, Wendy. Like Wendy Koopa? You talking about Wendy Koopa?
Oh yeah, Wendy. I thought you said Wimpy. Yeah, Wendy Koopa.
There's not many like human female characters that the
What about Birdo?
human female characters. And is it like I feel like I might be remembering this wrong. Wasn't it like in early stages of Birdo? Like was there like stuff saying that Birdo was really a dude?
Yeah, Birdo's the first trans character and that I know.
Because I feel like in the early parts of like Mario World, like especially in the Mario 2 game, which is all a dream, uh, the Birdo was like it was they were hinting that Birdo might not have been a girl. I don't know. I don't understand. And I know Yoshi doesn't care because apparently a lot of people like to pair Birdo with Yoshi. I find that interesting. I think Birdo's actually a woman now, like fully, like she isn't trans. She's just a woman.
Yeah, I'm sure they did that to avoid controversy. Canon Birdo is transgender.
But yeah, I bathroom. Oh wow, Jock really had to go. I know I got these scars. Did I just hear a job?
Sorry about that, Game Hunter. I did the dance for like 10 minutes because you like 15 minutes ago said it was like the last line.
Yeah, like, as I was talking and kept on talking and kept on talking.
Yeah,
but
you're fine.
I want something. Really lost track of that. But I guess for the next playlist playing, apparently I played all the music from that one playlist. A good sign. We need to end. Okay, so I guess all in all, we can just say that Nintendo movies are a good idea. I'm not entirely sure what's next in the horizon beyond the Donkey Kong movie, which is probably going to be their next thing beyond Legend of Zelda. I hope in 2027 that the Legend of Zelda movie goes off without a hitch. But until then, we have next year to look forward to with Super Mario World. I think that's what they're calling it. Yeah, this thing about Birdo being trans was brought up. I know women in the Mario universe. There's not so many of them, and I think they had no real excuse to not include them. I really just like. I think ultimately, I just want Princess Peach to have a friend. And as far as I'm aware, at least canonically speaking, Daisy and Princess Peach are the ones that hang out the most with each other. And like they could include this, they could include Daisy's kingdom, which no one's seen in years, by the way. There's a meme out there that apparently Daisy lost her kingdom in a bet. She's no longer
In a bet?
It's like a meme going on. Like, you know,
Like a poker game?
I had no idea. It was something going on when she lost it because she didn't have any money. It was like it was a really random like comic I saw. And I just started laughing because like, oh, that'd be funny. That's actually what happened. To Sarasa Land is that she lost it because she couldn't pay for it.
I mean, the last thing I want to see in the Mario universe is like
What? Put out again.
Like I said the last thing I want to see in the Mario universe is like
Daisy as a what?
I just typed it in Discord.
I'm glad that you got cut off. I don't think that they would even utter the words OnlyFans.
Well, she needs the money, right? She just gave up her whole kingdom. What she got left? She doesn't have any marketable.
I hope that that's not what I'm like.
It'd be even more sad to see her working at like Walmart or something. Wouldn't it at least let her like have some glam?
I don't know what happened with Princess Daisy and because like I know that she's brought in for party games and that's it. She doesn't. The only recent appearance she's ever had outside of them is the Super Mario Wonder, where she's a playable character. Other than that, she hasn't had any outside adventures. Like she didn't need like I mean Rosalina's usually the one that they choose for like that other princess slot. I'm surprised that they gave Daisy a look. I was like, geez. I'm happy that Daisy was playable because that's the first time she's playable at any other point. Basically, I just want her, if anything, I want her to be the one that they choose to like show up in the Mario movie and befriend Peach. But
okay,
the problem that I foresee is that because Rosalina's is more popular, and considering that there was a Luma in the movie that they brought up out of nowhere, that they never explained how it got there. There was a star, a suicidal star. They never explained how it got there. Obviously, that was a Mario Galaxy reference, but it's clear that you know they might be bringing in Rosalina, which will be disappointing to me. But at least Princess Peach will have a friend, I'm guessing. Considering that again, she just showed up in the Mushroom Kingdom for no real reason. She came through a pipe and that was it. Never even went back either. Like, didn't she just pop out of that pipe and never went back? I forgot the exact like visual they showed of Princess Peach showing up in the Mushroom Kingdom, but it was really weird. It's like yeah, it wouldn't shock me that again Daisy gets the shaft. No one likes Daisy apparently.
Aw, sad.
It's sad for me because I think I like Daisy more than Rosalina. That's probably more of a bias thing. I think Galaxy's a fine game. I haven't beaten the first game though, and I have it. Probably finish that. But yeah. Who knows? They might not even. I mean, they got Yoshi showing up. I feel like they're gonna have another character added to the roster, but I don't know who that is. I wonder who they're gonna have voice Yoshi. This random like brain rot that I just have now, of like Dwayne the Rock Johnson being Yoshi. Somebody brought that up as like the Rock should be Yoshi. I'm just like, a part of me wants that, but a part of me also doesn't want that.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson is Yoshi.
Yes, I think they were joking, but a part of me it was like, that'd be funny. Like that would.
I just have Pee Wee Herman at that point as Yoshi.
Isn't Pee Wee Herman dead though?
Oh, is he?
I think he was dead. Yeah, he died.
70. He's still alive.
Huh?
Oh, wait.
Paul Rubens is dead.
No, he died in 2023. I didn't know that. He was a creepy man.
He was a creepy man.
He was creepy. Like, he got caught masturbating in the theater back in the day. Like, adult theater.
And with that, we're going to end it here, guys.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
I'm not making it up.
I don't want to look it up to prove you wrong or right. So I'm just gonna like leave that as just a mystery of life, a mystery, out of life. It's a mystery.
Was it 1991? It's like according to Wikipedia.
No, not the year I was born. I'm out of here. See you guys next week. I mean, in 2 weeks, people. 2 weeks. I apologize for information that bled into your ears about Pee Wee Herman. Apologize to anybody who also Pee Wee Herman was your spirit animal. I make better life choices. Good night.
Yeah, for indecent exposure while watching theater.
Good night, everybody. Why, Pee Wee Herman? Why?